What's up guys, it's JZNES back again with another video. Today we're talking New Super Mario Bros. For the DS there, the original. As you can see I have the other new Super Mario Bros. Games here now. We're going to do those next time and the time after and the time after, you know. All leading up to Super Mario Wonder, whenever that's coming out. They just had a direct on that and it was, it looks good, it looks interesting. It's the evolution to 2D Mario now. They're finally doing more of that. So we're going back and we're reviewing all the 2D Mario games that I missed in the main series. And then we might go do some Yoshi's Island or some shit like that. You know, the other ones that I missed later on. I also do want to do Donkey Kong Country at some point. But not right now. Right now we're doing New Super Mario Bros. DS. So I remember my introduction to this game specifically was my cousin had a DS back in the day. And she had this game and would play it, and I watched her play it a little bit, and then I got to play it a little bit too. So that was basically it. And then I think shortly after that, at the time I had my own DS, but shortly after that I got the game and was able to play about half of it, I feel like. I got stuck on some levels. This game is actually pretty hard at certain points throughout. What's interesting is there's like branching paths, so you can kind of just go to whichever levels you choose to do, because there's different options and whatnot, and there's even branching worlds. Worlds 4 and 7, 2 and 3 and 7? I think it was 4 and 7. I just never got to. I don't know how you are supposed to get to them, but on the screen it's a branching path. So like, I guess if you finish branching paths in the worlds before it like branches into there or something. I don't know, you find some secret or something. That's cool. I mean, that's good for replay value, which I know not everyone values, but you know, or for your first time, if you just want to, you're having a tough time with a level, you want to go a different direction, you know, go for it. That's kind of something they talked about in Mario Wonder, I'm just gonna call it. Was the ability to like skip through levels and like do the ones you want to do and stuff. I don't know. In terms of this game, it's kind of basic in a lot of ways, but really what it comes down to is I feel like it's a refined form of the most basic, essential Mario stuff. You know, like, you kind of had the last 2D games, which was like New Super Mario, not counting the spin-off, the Game Boy games and whatnot. But you had New Super Mario, New Super Mario. Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario Bros. 4 were kind of the world were kind of the big ones there for a minute, and those games let you fly with their iconic power-ups or whatever. This isn't that kind of game. This is more like grounded, like the first game there, and I appreciate the restrictiveness there. We talked about this in the Tears of the Kingdom review. You know, sometimes having all the power is fun, but it breaks the game. Restrictiveness is also nice. You have a nice wall jump this time. You can like jump off of walls and stuff, like, so especially if you're like sliding down a thing, you could just like boom, bounce back up or whatever if you have the skill to do that. So that's cool. I like that. They use that in a few spots. You have, you know, your classic ground pound ability to break through bricks below you and stuff. It's, you know, it's all the classic stuff. It feels like a nice refined version of the first 3 games, or the first 4 games, thrown together in a blender, and they take some aspects from each, cut out like the really broken power-ups like the flying stuff, and they added a turtle suit this time. Turtle, you know. Everyone's favorite fucking stupid movie there. It's not, it's terrible. It's a terrible movie. Anyway, they added a turtle suit where you can you can like duck into it and stuff, and if you're like, if you got momentum, you can kind of spin like a Koopa or whatever. It's okay. It's an alright power-up. They added the big mushroom. I don't know what it's called. Mega mushroom or something. And it lets you, like, grow to a big size. You can't really use it that often, but it is one of the gimmicks that this game is kind of known for, is that. Even though it was sparingly used. But you can get it, and you can use it. It's just not always very helpful. Especially in a lot of the levels. But it's cool when you can do it. It's really cool, especially like in the first level. You just like plow through it. It's great, you know. It's cool. It's very neat. Other than that, you got your basic, you know, fire flower. You got mushroom. You know, all that stuff. You got a tiny mushroom in this game. I don't know if that was a thing yet, but it'll turn you small, and sometimes you can go down small pipes and stuff. So a lot of little secrets here and there. The main collectible of the game isn't actually necessary at all to beat the game. As long as you get through the levels, you're good to go. But you can unlock toad houses, which there's a big mushroom one, there's a life one, and then there's like the regular kind of toad house. We go in there, but you hit a block this time instead of choosing chests. So very helpful, because every time you restart, every time you restart, and then every time you lose all your lives, which every time you shut off the game, you lose all your lives and go back to it. That's kind of one of those sort of situations. But every time you do that, all of them reset, so you can go back through the worlds and get all the lives and stuff again, which is very helpful. Considering the save system, which is a little obtuse. Basically, the game doesn't save for you unless you beat a castle, or unless you open up the road to a toad house, which usually costs coins, which is why I'm mentioning all this to begin with. So they have these coins throughout the levels, kind of like the Yoshi coins, or the Dragon coins or whatever in Mario World, except they actually serve a purpose other than just an extra life or whatever. There's 3 in each level, and a lot of times they're really well hidden. Or not hidden, but, you know, they're kind of hard to get to. A lot of this stages scroll fast, or sometimes they are hidden in, like, pipes and stuff, you know? It's nice. It's cool that, I like them as a concept, I guess. They're a certain form of currency that can open up these paths to these toad houses and stuff, like I said. So there's that. So, not really necessary for progression, which is interesting, because usually that stuff is necessary for progression, but like, it's like usually you'd have like the stars and stuff in like Mario 64 and like the shines and sunshine and stuff, but that's like the 3D Marios. This is like a collectible in a 2D Mario, and it tracks how many you get in each level. But yeah, you can use them to unlock those paths. Not much more than that, but anytime you do that, that's the only other time the game will save for you. So, and every time you die, you go back to where you last saved from. So all of the levels that you beat since then don't count anymore. So you have to very strategically think about that. And like I did in World 8, because it's a long stretch of like 4 or 5 or so levels before the final level. And even before that castle, that's before the final castle. Actually, there's 3 castles in that world. There's maybe 4. I don't know. There's a lot of castles in that world, let's say. But anyway, so there's a long stretch there where, you know, there's a lot of really, really difficult levels because they're like the final levels of the game. So what I did was I saved right before the castle by going and opening up a toad house somewhere random or whatever. It didn't really matter. It was just more so about the save. So that's a little awkward, that save system, but I get it. I understand it. The game's pretty short if you're not doing that. I think it maybe took me like 10 hours to beat, just because I had some, maybe less than that. Just because I had some troubles on a couple of levels or whatever. It only took me a couple play sessions to beat. But then again, I did miss a lot of content in the game. Like I said, there's a lot of branching paths. I probably missed like at least 10, 15, 20. No, at least more than that. I missed a whole 2 worlds of levels. I probably missed like 50 levels or something out of like, let's say there's 100. I probably missed about half the game, you know? Like, okay, that's exaggerating because I went through like five world, 6 worlds. But, I might have missed like 20 or 30 levels, you know? So, because there were levels in the worlds that I was in. So maybe 50 is right. It's not only 100 though. It's got to be like 200 levels. I don't know. It's a lot, but it's nice because it's a handheld experience and actually have a very appropriate Mario themed. This is a 3DS or no wait, this is just a DS. Yeah, DS XL, as you can see there. So, I like this thing. The only problem with this thing is, like, when you play for an extended amount of time, sometimes, or you get really into it, sometimes, like, it digs into your hands and you get, like, cramps and stuff, but I like it, the big one, because it looks better and it's got, especially for RPGs and stuff, it's better. I don't know. I just like this one a lot, so, but yeah. I mean, it just takes the same formula. It adds a couple new enemies, a couple new things here and there, but it doesn't really go very far with new stuff. It just kind of sticks to a lot of the same stuff and makes it harder and refines it to be, you know, kind of like, I don't want to say the ultimate Mario challenge, but a little bit more of a new thing. It's just, it's new, not in the sense that it's got all this new stuff in it, but it has, it's new because it has new levels, basically, you know? It's kind of like playing the old 2D Marios, but, just enhanced a little bit, you know? So, that's nice. I mean, graphically, it looks fine. The music is pretty good. It has a lot of the old tracks reimagined and a lot of new tracks and whatnot, so, not a lot of new tracks. It has a couple new tracks, so that's nice. Yeah, I mean, overall it's solid, you know? It's pretty good. I had fun playing it, but I got really frustrated at sometimes. Like I said, it's kind of really hard sometimes. Definitely threw out some profanities there. Let's just say if I was in Life is Strange, I would owe a lot of dollars to the swear jar. So, but, you know, I like it. I mean, I know the complaint is it feels kind of soulless. I mean, I think that's the next few games that the like the Game Grumps were saying that about and whatever, but, and I understand why they would say that, but, like, at the same token, it's just more Mario, and it's a fresh set of levels for Mario. Sometimes it's a little bland, but I mean, I like it. I mean, I think it's good enough. You know, I don't love the name New Super Mario Brothers. That's obviously a really dumb name, but you know, but it's enjoyable. If you like 2D Mario games, you're probably gonna like this game, you know? I mean, it's not the best one. Obviously, you're up against Super Mario 3 and 4 there. 4. It is Super Mario Brothers 4, but, you know, Super Mario World there, which is my personal favorite. Those are classic games. You know, those have some, like, really classic levels. This is kind of just its own thing. The levels aren't really gonna stand out too much. I mean, I can remember a couple of them. Like, there's this one where these, like, meteors are falling the whole time. Some of the castles I can remember because they were super tough. You know, but I'm not gonna think about all the levels like I do, like, the ones from Mario World or, like, Super Mario Brothers 3 and be like, ah, man, this level was so classic, you know? Not to say they're uninspired. They're cool, and they're just, you know, they're their own thing. They're not really. That's the other thing. They're not really super themed all the time, which is fine. I mean, some of them are, yeah, but they're just the, you know, generic Mario themes. Here's the desert world. Here's, like, the forest world. Here's, like, the dark world or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's not like certain levels where they're going to introduce this brand new thing or make you think about this brand new mechanic like they would in Super Mario Bros. 3 or World. Like, not even new mechanic, just like based on older mechanics, and like they're breaking it in an interesting way. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. The final castle has like a weird gravity switching mechanic where you like you'll hit these switches and it'll like turn upside down or whatever. So that's kind of interesting. They do stuff like that occasionally. So I mean, it has that, but it's just, I don't know. To me, it's not as classic as the classic Mario games, and that's why it's new Super Mario Brothers. It's a different but very similar formula to a Mario game, but it's more Mario, you know, which is what people want, you know. And I mean, for that, it's pretty good, and I'm not gonna deny it that I did have a good time with this game. But is it the most inspired and groundbreaking Mario game ever? No, it's very similar to the other games. It just adds a few things, you know, to make it a little spicy. So, and not even spicy. It would be like, it's the mild sauce, mild salsa of Mario games, which I like mild salsa. So I mean, you know, whatever. But sometimes you want the medium salsa or the hot sauce, which is like, you know, maybe some of the older games or something. But I don't know. So I'm gonna give Super Mario New Super Mario Brothers. It's the dumbest name ever. New Super Mario Brothers DS, the first New Super Mario Brothers game. That's a mouthful. I'm gonna give it a 7.2 out of 10. So yeah, pretty good. Good music. I mean, decent graphics. It looks nice. The gameplay is fun but challenging. Secrets and hidden stuff to kind of encounter and look through. They have that whole holding the item mechanic on, so you can like click on the bottom screen and your item will like fall. That's nice. I'm sure there's like a way to play 2-player. There was like a versus mode. There's mini games and stuff. I never did any of that, but cool to have that stuff. So, but yeah, until next time, this has been JZNES saying keep it classic. Stick around for more reviews, underrated games, and I'll see you guys in the next one. JZ